go on. Better read it now or I'm liable to put the damn thing to the torch. What did this note say? He asked, expecting a ludicrous response. Vec be praised! In all my years of study and adventure, I have never faced a more frustrating foe than this idiot mail moth. And he's dead. Can you even imagine how insufferable he must have been while he was alive? Mercifully, I believe you're right. Naturally, parting company with me will be difficult, but you'll muddle through somehow. Come on, assistant. Let's bring this farce to a close, shall we? The Mysterium awaits. Onward! Another door. Locked. Say, is that a key on the pedestal? Snatch it up, quick!
Meddlesome miscreants inside the Mysterium! Oh, take this!
Not trapped? Good. Now, let's finally get a look at Mailmoth's mysteries. At last! Mailmoth's... Wait! What is all this? This isn't treasure. This is junk! Damn that addle-brained wizard. It's just another trick. It has to be. Ah, look there. A book. Step lively, assistant. Have a look at that tome while I piece this together. Look there. An X on the floor. A gate of some kind? One last riddle, assistant. One final test. Then we will reap the rewards. So, tell me, what did Mailmoth's tome reveal? Of course! How could I have missed such an exquisite antiquity? Granted, most of these items are worthless trinkets and oddities, but with some modest poetic license, I could turn that bottle into something truly extraordinary for my readers. A testament to its value, no doubt. Now, a less experienced historian might be troubled by the comically threatening X on the floor, but we know better. Mailmoth would only place such a symbol to confuse us, right? Right. It's perfectly safe. Oh, well, yes, of course it would trigger another illusion. I knew that. You passed the test, assistant. Superb reasoning. And now we let the grim resignation set in. Oh, by the three, what a waste of time. Now I will do what I always do in situations like this, hyperbolize. With some clever prose and a few creative liberties, I can spin this into a yarn worthy of Narcissus Dren. As for you, I suppose you should return Mailmoth's journal to Dean Velaz. What? Your mistakes? No, you wound me. I would never cast you in an unflattering light. No. You'll be a mysterious figure assisting from far, far, far back in the shadows. A helpful but discreet partner.
Male moth historian. You brought Male Moth's journal back? Good. I assume that the Mad Mage's ramblings did not lead you and your greedy dark elf friend to any fabled treasures. People often forget to return guild property. What a welcome surprise. And even better, you didn't bring that shifty mudmouth with you. It brings me no small measure of joy to know he found nothing. Take this. News like this is worth every drake. We cannot wait to throw Narcissus Dren's next opus in the waste bin. He's a terrible writer. I won't allow his books on my shelves.
That's one of the Queen's attendants. Let's get inside.
Be strong, Svanna.
Mother! No! No!
Svanna, your father, the kingdom. Watch over.
Mother! No! You can't die! Mother!
Sire, the assassins might return. You must get to somewhere safe.
Have Yoren's lackeys come to gloat?
We came here to warn you, Your Highness.
And yet my wife lies dead,
If you had listened to us...
like she did. If I determine Yoren had a hand in this, there will be war! Someone take care of my wife!
Father, please.
This is taking longer than I'd planned.
Gods, what a disaster. The Queen's been assassinated and Svargrim still refuses to listen to reason. We need to find a way to set things right. Good question. The guards should have been able to handle a run-of-the-mill assassin. This could be connected to the Ice Reach Coven. In fact, I'd wager my axe that it is. Look around. See if you can find any indication of how the assassin got in and out of the palace so easily. Maybe even turn up something that ties the murderer to the Coven. I'll make sure the princess is all right. Svanna's taking this pretty hard. I suppose most daughters feel close to their mothers. Not that I'd know, I never knew my mother. Sorry, don't mind me. Did you find anything that might lead us to the assassin? We've seen these medallions before. On the Reachman near Kilcreath. And I saw them on the witches in Icereach. The assassin definitely seems to be in league with the Coven. But can we get Svargrim to believe that and accept the danger he's in? Svargrim has every right to be angry. He watched his wife die right before his eyes. But he's the High King. He doesn't have the right to be stupid. Time to make Svargrim confront some hard truths. Come on, the Sword Thane led the king upstairs.
I should think not. The High King is in mourning. He's not to be disturbed.
The Queen's wasn't the only life lost today. Now get out of our way.
Go right in.
Your Highness, please. Your kingdom is in grave danger.
My queen's blood hasn't yet cooled, and already Yoren's lackeys hound me.
We have proof that the Coven threatening your kingdom is responsible for the Queen's death. Show him, partner.
Does Yoren think me so weak that he believes his half-giant can twist my arm and fill my head with lies? I am not so easily duped, outsider. Reach witches. They pose no threat. We've beaten back those wild dogs time and time again, while our brothers to the east bow down to a poetry-writing milk drinker. I will not be lectured on such matters by the likes of you. Tales told around campfires to scare the children. Storms happen here all the time, and none of them spawn monsters. The last spy who spoke of such things, well, he no longer speaks of such things. I am the Wolf of Solitude. I know my enemies. You dishonor my wife's name by letting it pass through your treacherous lips. Away with you! And pray I don't find evidence that ties you to the Queen's murder. That would not go so well for you.
We'll leave you to your grief, Your Highness.
Is it true? Mother told me you were working for her before she...
I'm sorry, Svanna. I would have saved her if I could.
My mother. She told me she gave the mighty Lyris Titanborn an important task. Tell me, what were you doing for my mother? Threat? What threat? And do you think this is why someone came into the palace and killed her? And did you tell my father all this? Is he rallying the soldiers? Alerting the other holds? My father sees Yoren's plots everywhere, even in his spicy venison stew. Well, I won't let my mother's death be for nothing. She trusted you, and so will I. My father be damned. Please, find whoever did this and stop them. I saw the assassin. He moved fast. Unbelievably fast. He leaped through the window after stabbing my mother. By that time, the guards had gathered, so I guess he decided to flee. Try to follow his trail. Someone outside must have seen something. He was fast, that's for certain. Here and gone before the guards could even draw their swords. Other than that, I didn't get a good look. The inside of his hood was nothing but shadows. My father? Listen to me? When horkers fly, maybe. But probably not even then. He gave up on me a long time ago. I'm sorry. I'm no use to you. No use to anyone. I'm not my mother. Never will be. But I swear I'll do whatever I can to help you. You have my word on that. No. My mother... The last time we spoke, I hurled a mug at her. But I came when she summoned me. Just in time to see her murdered. I need to pull myself together. She asked me to watch over my father. The kingdom. I can't let her down.
I'd rather not leave Svanna alone. We don't know if any more Ice Reach Coven agents are lurking about. Besides, you're better at talking to people than I am. Find witnesses. Track where the assassin fled to. I'll make sure Svanna gets someplace safe. The assassin may have leapt out the window, but he must have had help to get that close to the King and Queen. Even Yoren's guard had traitors willing to help the Coven, so why not here too? What was the name of that orc at the Lonely Troll? Yeah, Mog. He's lazy and a drunk, but I don't see him as a backstabber. Svanna trusts him. It might put her at ease to have a familiar face around. The princess needs someone to lean on right now, and neither of us has time to play nursemaid. Come on, princess. Let's get you somewhere safe.
Don't call me princess. Just Svanna. There's nothing noble about me.
Every man has
What?
My wife. She is like ice. So cold. So pale. All the warmth sucked out of her. There was a commotion at the palace. Everyone was headed that way. Except one man. No, not a man. He wore an eye patch, but his face was bestial. He dragged her along like a bone between a dog's teeth. Then he tossed her aside, pale as snow. He was fast, so fast, ran toward the Hall of the Dead. He never even looked back at what he had done.
Will you pray with me for these poor souls? Cut down and bound for the Hall of the Dead much too soon. It was a monster, a vampire. I have seen such creatures before, but this one wore an eye patch. It moved like a shadow and took sustenance from these poor souls. I called upon Arcay's grace, and the vampire fled before his sacred presence. Toward the main gate, I pray the guard finished off the depraved creature before it took another innocent life. Well?
Pleased to see you in solitude, stranger.
You again? Didn't I warn you about putting your nose where it doesn't belong? A vampire? I don't know what you're talking about. But whoever it was tore out Senolia's throat and fled through the gate before I could stop him. What do you know about all this? And why is it any of your business? The Queen's dead? What about the High King? He'll have my head for letting the assassin slip away. Yeah. It's not like I opened the gate and let him slink off. The real problem's at the palace. No more questions. I've got to secure the gate and take care of poor Senolia.
This is Svargrim's fault. He should have heeded us from the start. Damn Svargrim and his distrust of Yoren. How many more of his people have to die before he accepts the truth and lets us help him? Forget that for now. Tell me about the assassin. Did anyone get a good look at the murderer? That would explain the assassin's swiftness and ability to escape so easily. We knew the Ice Reach Coven had vampires on their side, but using them so blatantly. Anything else to report? Well then, time to fight fire with fire. They've got evil vampires and we've got a friendly one. Let's find out exactly what your friend Fen knows about vampire clans in the area. Where did you tell me Fen was going again? Right, to research the ritual. Go find them and see what you can learn. I'll stay with Svanna. Bring her up to speed on everything we've uncovered. We're going to need her to get the High King to trust us. And I'm calling him Fen. It's simpler.
I had thought after our dealings with bone wolves and curses, you would find other ways to amuse yourself for a time. Yet here you are again, right in the midst of more problems. What can old Mjolnir do for you this time?
Welcome to the middle of nowhere, my friend. You must be freezing. Warm yourself by the fire, and tell me how your audience with the High King went. A bold move, even for them. Old Mjolnir and I have been comparing notes, and we've made some progress studying the Harrowstorm ritual. What happened to your large friend with the axe, by the way? We knew that vampires were working with the Coven. And old Mjolnir and I can say with certainty that the feral Harrow Fiends are byproducts of Harrowstorms. You think the assassin was one of the vampires in league with the Coven? An eye patch? That's uncommon. And this insignia, I've seen it before. It's the same as the symbol that decorates the urns smuggled out of Bankarai. If it belongs to a vampire bloodline, I'm not familiar with it. I suggest you ask Mjolnir.
I had thought after our dealings with bone wolves and curses, you would find other ways to amuse yourself for a time. Yet here you are again, right in the midst of more problems. What can old Mjolnir do for you this time? A grim talisman. It bears an enchantment of some kind, though the symbol upon it holds no significance that I'm aware of. I can help find the owner of this medallion, but I need some specific items to cast such a divination. Bring me the bones of a wolf and a deathbell plant pulled up by its roots. I need the plant alive. The wolf, not so much. With those reagents, I can conjure a divination that will lead you directly to the last person to wear this medallion. Deathbell grows throughout the bog. You should have no trouble acquiring it. Wolves are plentiful in the wilderness around Morthal as well, but be cautious. Many seem afflicted by a strange curse. I would hate for you to run afoul of it. An icy rime clings to the wolves, sapping the heat and life from their bodies until only a frigid, shambling corpse remains. You are safe from them here, but be mindful out in the wild. Welcome back. Warm yourself by the fire, and tell me about the reagents I requested. Good, good. Divinations can be fickle. The longer we delay, the colder the trail grows. Let's see if we can catch the scent of your prey. Mother Wolf, hear me. We seek your blessing in our hunt. Lead us to our elusive quarry. Mother Wolf smiles upon you. She has seen fit to join your pack and aid you in your hunt. Mother Wolf has the scent and will lead you to your quarry. I have enchanted the medallion with a divination spell inextricably linked to its owner. Hold it to your nose and breathe deeply. It will guide you along his trail. Mother Wolf will guide you along the way, but you must still complete the hunt and find him. If the assassin eludes you, use the medallion to recover his trail. The wolf is relentless in her pursuit. The question is, will you be like the wolf?
Fascinating. Every divination appears to be unique. Go ahead and use the medallion. Old Mjolnir and I need to get back to our study of the Harrowstorm ritual. And look! The magic points to the west. What an interesting use of primitive magic. That was clearly your vampire assassin. He even wore an eye patch. It looked like he was at a small camp. And you saw that ball of magicka? It went to the west. That must be where you'll find the camp. Didn't I tell you? The clever woman's magic can be quite exciting. Not my usual process of investigation, but effective just the same. I'll leave old Mjolnir to continue our research and follow after you. I want to see how the divination plays out. The assassin drained her of blood. Is it wrong to find these visions so intriguing? This one showed your assassin again, eye patch and all, by a cave near a waterfall. And the ball of magicka drifted toward the west again. I suggest we go that way as quickly as possible. There's nothing we can do for her. The vampire assassin drained all the blood from her body. He took his time with her, I think. Probably needed to recover his strength after the events at the palace. Let's get after him before the trail grows cold. Yes, this is definitely the place in the vision. I'll slip past and scout ahead.
deal with you next time, you fang...
Once again, I prove that I'm a scholar, not a warrior. I don't think he expected another vampire, though. I found the camp. Thought it was deserted, but the assassin must have been hiding in the shadows. He got the drop on me. It had more to do with your arrival than anything I did. Luckily, he left behind his belongings when he departed. I saw a map and some documents over there. Why don't you take a look while I deal with this wound? I didn't get a good look at that before. Mind bringing it over? Let me take a look at what you found. The letters are both addressed to the vampire assassin. Hentark Korb. That's an unusual title. This one gives the order to assassinate the Queen, though the language is guarded. The other talks about miners and a final ritual. Very odd. It looks like a map to a mine in Carthald. It could be the one mentioned in the letter. If that's the target of another Harrowstorm ritual, we need to stop it. Head south to the mine. I'll get word to Lyris and have her meet you there. My particular habits aside, one of us needs to find the assassin, and the other needs to alert Lyris Titanborn. I can handle the latter. Besides, I have no intention entering Solitude. A courier should have no trouble picking Lyris out of a crowd.
As evil lairs go, I'm not impressed.
I'll take that as a good sign. As I said, your large friend is easy to spot in a crowd. We got here as quickly as we could.
We think this old mine is where our assassin fled to. Good a place as any to bury him. The clever woman helped you track the Queen's assassin to his hideout in Chillwind Depths. He got away, but left behind evidence that the Coven's planning another Harrow Storm in this mine, and we're going to wreck those plans. I miss anything? Good. Less chance of them scurrying away if they think they have the advantage. I'm tired of chasing these rats through the shadows. Are you ready to end this? These tunnels better be dug on the large size.
Don't worry about me. I assure you, I'm fully recovered from the assassin's cowardly attack.
Lead the way. I'm right behind you. Scaffolding. Let's follow it down.
Careful. The structure doesn't appear to be completely stable.
Relax. It'll take more than a rickety structure to take down Lyra's Titanborn.
Actually, I was more concerned for my own well-being. But if you insist...
I think there's a cavern up ahead. Blackreach again. Like beneath Eastmarch. Does it extend below all of Skyrim?
Blackreach. So the legends are true. But why is there a town down here? My research into Skyrim included the legends of Blackreach, of course. But I never expected to see it. It's massive. That letter you found in the assassin's hideout. It mentioned a mining consortium in the darkness below. Could this be the place? Right. If the assassin is part of a vampire clan working with the Coven, I couldn't imagine a better hiding place than this land of constant night. My guess is that most of the miners have no idea what they've gotten themselves into. You and Lyra should. It's our best lead for finding the assassin. But if the miners have even an inkling of vampire activity down here, my presence might confuse the issue. I'm sure I can find something to do while you investigate the town. I'll keep out of sight and check the surrounding area while you and Lyris investigate the town. Meet me on the far side of town when you're finished, and we'll compare notes. Most of the legends are superstitious nonsense. It was once supposedly ruled by the dwarves, though. If that's true, we'll see their ruins. There are also a lot of tales about monsters. Pale, feral humanoids, giant insects. Be on your guard.
Blackreach. Again. It must be vast to extend this far from Eastmarch. I can't believe people are living down here. No, but all the evidence you found suggests he's down here somewhere. Let's go see what the miners can tell us. But be ready for anything. This place has ambush written all over it. Let's split up. Take a look around, ask some questions. If the assassin passed through that ramshackle town, maybe someone saw him. Call out if you run into trouble, but don't make a move until we're all back together. We can cover more ground that way, and lone travelers are less conspicuous than a large group. Plus, if one of us gets into trouble, the others can come to the rescue. Just stay close to the town. We don't want to become totally separated down here.
Traps? Did those two idiots set these things throughout all of Blackreach? Watch your step, stranger. A couple of so-called ghost hunters laid traps all over the place. They insist that it's to catch spirits, haunting the mines. They don't leave soon. The only thing they'll be catching is my boot to their backside. Blackreach isn't for the faint of heart. When we first came down here, we lost people to animal attacks. That's gotten better, but now everyone's spooked about a few missing miners. Most don't realize it's not uncommon for workers to wander off. No, my wife Elle hired them. She said they'd ease people's minds, but the hawkers are only making things worse. You look capable. If you could expose them for the charlatans they are, Elle would kick them out. What do you say? It's a paying job. The spirit-chasing fools are down in the settlement, likely setting more traps for people to trip over. The damn things covered one of my workers in paint and nearly took off his leg earlier. Shore's bones. I wish my wife hadn't hired these idiots. We call it Dusktown. It's the Bitterblade Mining Consortium settlement. We're not a big organization. There's only about a dozen of us. Most of the work that goes on here is under the table. We're a small operation, but sturdy. Well, there's no shortage of rare materials, that's for sure. But most of what we find is an abundance of creatures that want to sink their teeth into us. It's dangerous work, but everyone who signed on knew the risks going in. Yes. But you'll do well to remember that the mines are strictly off-limits to anyone who isn't under my employ. If you're looking for work, come find me once you run off these ghost-hunting buffoons. Until then, I recommend you keep your distance. Blackreach is a hard place. You spend any amount of time down there and you'll learn that quick. Unfortunately, some people forget that, and get in their heads to go exploring. That's usually the last we see of them. Wandered off and got eaten, more like. Either that or the darkness got to them. The isolation, the lack of sun. We've learned how to stay safe down here, but you can't protect people from everything. Especially not their own minds. Watch your back.
What an exciting case! I simply must write down this new development.
We have a bit. Focus on the task at hand, Phoebe. There will be time for that later.
Hello! You're rather strapping, aren't you? If you're here about the traps, there's no need to worry. Claudina fixed them right up. She's really quite good at this. I can almost guarantee that they won't trip anyone else today. Spirits, of course. Ideally, the ones that have been terrorizing these poor people. My mentor and I have been given the important responsibility of investigating the mysterious disappearances down here. We're supernatural specialists of a sort. We're perilously close. Claudina has been doing this for years. She's practically an expert. I'm just her apprentice, but so far there hasn't been a case that we couldn't solve. Dusktown is in capable hands. Leave? But we're so close to figuring this out. If we just had a little more time, and maybe a set of extra hands? You look very clever. I'm sure if you joined us, we'd solve this in no time. Interested? Claudina would reward you, I'm sure. We identified a few spots with reported spiritual activity. Here, take Claudina's notes. The hope is that placing traps here will increase our chances of capturing an entity, and figuring out what happened to the missing miners. Exciting, right? I'm not sure. I used to try and guess the conclusions of our cases, but I was almost always wrong. Claudina says not to speculate too early. Each case is different and requires a different approach. I hope the missing people are safe at any rate. Me? Oh, I'm practically no one. I'm just a mage that never really fit in anywhere. That is, until I heard of Claudina's exploits. I've always been obsessed with her work, so I tracked her down and begged her to take me on as her assistant. I don't possibly have the time to tell you of her many amazing exploits. Claudina is a renowned figure when it comes to the study of the supernatural. She's had a lustrous career and published much of her work. You should read some. She's my hero. It wasn't easy. Claudina built her business herself. After her husband died, she used his fortune to pursue her studies, and has been on her own ever since. But I think she saw the benefit in a pair of young hands, and an eager mind. Oh, what a wonderful question. I won't bore you with the details, though they are fascinating. Essentially, these traps will magically weaken the spirit. Once it passes through the physical barrier, the warding spells render it unable to move. Absolutely! My very first case with Claudina, we captured a very powerful ghost with such a trap. I'll never forget. It burst forth from the wardrobe and I nearly died of fright. Thankfully, Claudina pushed me out of the way, just in time.
Phoebe convinced you to help us, did she? You have my thanks. But I hope you're prepared to work. This is a very serious responsibility. We owe it to these people to ease their fears. This is my life's work. I do not take it lightly. My name is Claudina Ildeen. I deal in the supernatural and strange. Sometimes that means reuniting families with their lost loved ones that were taken too soon. Other times it means hunting dark, malicious spirits in ancient ruins. Phoebe and I go where there is need. Our work often takes us to strange places, though I will admit this place tops the list. There are restless spirits everywhere. They exist on the peaks of mountains, just as they do in the underbelly of the earth. It's too soon to tell. I have endless theories, but I need more evidence. I would be happy to indulge your curiosities after our business here is concluded, but as it stands, I cannot afford to become distracted by mere possibilities. My name is Claudina Ildeen. I deal in the supernatural and strange. Sometimes that means reuniting families with their lost loved ones that were taken too soon. Other times it means hunting dark, malicious spirits in ancient ruins. Phoebe and I go where there is need. Our work often takes us to strange places, though I will admit this place tops the list. There are restless spirits everywhere. They exist on the peaks of mountains, just as they do in the underbelly of the earth.
Less and less return from the mines each day. Pretty soon we're going to run out of people. They said this job would be dangerous, but we never expected it to be like this.
You must be new to Dusktown. You've still got that look. Well, get settled in. You won't be allowed topside again until you complete your contract. So you might as well get comfortable. A prisoner? No. Why would you think that? But we did sign a contract. Promised to stay until the work was done and never breathe a word. Otherwise, being a bonded miner with the Bitterblade Mining Consortium is a lucrative opportunity. Can't say that I have. And I haven't seen any ghosts or monsters either, come to think of it. Even though the rest of the town can't stop talking about them. Anyway, welcome aboard and good mining. Oh, don't let the rumors scare you. Miners are a superstitious lot. And being this far underground can play havoc with your senses. If you need to know anything else about Dusktown or working for the Bitterblade Mining Consortium, just ask. You mean those fools setting up their ghost traps? They're harmless. And if they make the superstitious miners feel better, I'm all right with that. Elle and Overseer Erlvar have been nothing but fair and honest with all of us. Elle Bitterblade, she owns the consortium. Erlvar's her husband and our overseer. They built Dusktown to support their claim. They're savvy business folk. Secretive, but that goes with the territory when you break a new mine. What a curious question. This whole place was tailor-made for undesirables. Tunnels, sunken barrows, dwarven ruins, lots of secluded spots. But don't worry, we're the only ones down here. Elle's precautions make sure of that. Same as most of us, I reckon. I saw a posting in a tavern, talked to an agent, signed some papers, and here I am. Well, after they blindfolded me and walked me all over snow and creation. The work is hard, but the wages are excellent.
I heard Tenmar Walk was full of Daedra. You're no milk drinker, that's for sure.
What?